What is going on, music people? Today, I want to talk about how to add a sense of space, depth, and dimension to your mixes, all by using a plugin that comes with every DAW, and that's Reverb. Let's get started. My name is Jeff, and welcome to Ignite Music Project. If you are new to the channel and you want to learn how to make music, all from your home or bedroom studio, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Today, I want to talk about how we can turn our mixes from a very flat, two-dimensional experience into a more three-dimensional experience, where we help the listener feel a sense of space. There are lots of different ways to make this happen. We can do this with panning, we can do this with volume, we can do this with EQ, we can do this with delay, but today I want to focus on reverb. You've probably heard of it, you've probably already used it, but reverb is one of those things that is very easy to overuse. I did a video where I talked about the 5 home studio mixing mistakes that you must avoid, and overprocessing and using too much reverb was one of those mistakes that I've made. And so today I wanted to offer a way of thinking about how to approach using reverb in your mixes in order to create a sense of space and create depth to your mixes, make it more three-dimensional. And I want to do that first by actually showing you a picture. Take a look at this image. This is a two-dimensional image, but it actually looks as though it is three-dimensional. It looks like the leaf on the bench is very close to us. It's right there. We can see it. We can almost feel like we can touch it. And the rest of the image, the other bench, the background, things like that, look as though they are pushed further away from us. They're out of our reach, so to speak. Now, this image accomplishes this effect in a lot of different ways. One of which is the composition of the shot. It also uses angles and vectors properly to create a sense of depth. And another way that it does it is by blurring the background and creating a depth of field effect. We can actually do the same in our music. I want to talk about how you can do that with reverb. Imagine, if you will, that when you are mixing, you are placing instruments on a soundstage. You're at a theater, a concert hall, and as you make panning decisions, volume decisions, EQ decisions, think about how those will place the instruments or the different elements of your mix into that space. Are those instruments right up close to you? Are they further back away from you? And specifically, I want to talk about how we can use reverb to place things further away from us or further back in the mix. And so let's take a listen to a track that I have pulled up here. This is a cover version of Fix You by Coldplay. I've already gone through the process of panning and placing the acoustic guitar and the piano into this space. I've chosen a reverb sound that is a very long reverb, almost like a concert hall or a church or cathedral type sound with a really, really long decay. But I haven't done anything to the lead guitar during the bridge section. So let's take a listen to what we've got so far, and let's figure out what we want to do with that lead guitar. Okay, so the first thing that I notice is that electric guitar that comes in on the bridge section sounds like it's right up there and in your face, right up front, right? Now, the solo on the bridge is an important element, and I want to draw attention to that, but I have a different vision for where that lead guitar will be placed in this mix. I almost have this vision, if I'm watching this concert on stage, that I'm sitting right there, and the acoustic guitar is just right off to my right, and the piano is right there, kind of about the same distance. There's an electric guitar part that's a little bit further back away from me, and there's some other things going on. But right at this moment, when the electric guitar comes in on the bridge, I want to almost feel like there's a spotlight that turns on in the very back of the theater. And it's got the lead guitar player standing there with his amp, and he's rocking out this solo. So I want this to sound like it's further away from me. It's really far back, right? So a basic principle when using reverb is, if you want elements of the mix to sound closer to you, you use less reverb, or you send less of that signal to your reverb that you've chosen. If you want something to sound further away from you or further back in the mix, you apply more reverb or send more of that signal to the reverb. So let's first start there. I've got the reverb set to bus number 5 on this electric guitar track. Let's take a look over here. So let's turn it on, and let's just kind of start dialing this in as we listen back to the bridge section. Okay, so that already has helped a lot, right? In placing that lead guitar further back, there's more, we hear more of the hall, more of the sound of the room. But I want to take this to the next level. Let's actually open up the Amp Designer plugin that's built into Logic Pro 10. And I want to draw your attention to the effects section of this amp. One of the cool things I like is that all of these amp models that they've done in Logic actually has an effects section with built-in reverb and delay and things like that that you might find on a combo amp. But this particular reverb that's on this amp has a very vintage sounding kind of vibe. It's more of a spring reverb, right? And another aspect of this is that this reverb will actually sound mono, because this is a mono plugin. And if you think about how a stereo image of a sound is affected by how close or far away it is from you, the closer a sound is to you, the more stereo it sounds. The further away from you it is, the more mono it sounds, because by the time that signal gets to your ears, it's very directional and it sounds like one sound source, as opposed to if you were sitting right in front of a drum set, the crash cymbal sounds like it's on the right, the ride cymbal sounds like it's on the left. So I'm going to dial in this reverb, and let's see how this actually works in combination with the main reverb to create an even more drastic sense of space. Notice that as I turned up this mono spring sounding reverb, that the guitar sounded like it actually got further away and it became more directional, right? I think that's more of the vibe that I was envisioning when I was setting up this mix in my mind. And so you can use those same principles when trying to establish and create depth in your mixes. I would love to hear from you guys. What other techniques do you use in order to create the illusion of a three-dimensional mix or a sense of depth? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I hope that this video has been helpful. It's a quick video. If you liked what you've heard, give this video a like and share it with a music friend that wants to know how to make music and record and produce their own music from their home or bedroom studio. And until next time, guys, see ya.